I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Exactly the way Louis Armstrong saw it in 1967 when he sang that song was the way I saw it growing up. It was indeed a wonderful world. Those good old days of mine. My name is Adewole Tajudeen Adewusi. Permit me to join other time travelers on this platform and share my good old days story with you. Let me start my short story by saying my dad, Jimoh Ishola Adewusi, a Muslim, called me Tajudeen, while my mom, Victoria Odufolake Adewusi, a Christian, called me by my name Adewole. So you see, religion was never an issue in my house while growing up. Ours was a practical case of religious tolerance. I was born in Abebi area of Ibadan, northwest local government, but hailed from Ojagbo, Bagura quarters in Abeokuta, Ogun State. My dad worked in GB Olivant of those days, a division of UAC, and retired as the Western Area Manager, while my mom worked in Kingsway Stores, also a division of UAC, then but later worked as an auditor at the University of Ibadan. Dad had 2 wives. I am the first among 9 children, 5 boys from my mom and 4 boys from my stepmom. I guess Dad must have been frantically praying to have a female child, and the constant trial that produced 9 boys before he hung his boot. Anyway, in those days, the average number of children in a family was 6. Before the birth control era, we were told the stories of our grandparents who believed then that having many children determined how wealthy you are. You would have a lot of helping hands in the farm, and that increases your fortune as a farmer, which was the major preoccupation of our grandparents in those days. When it was time to start schooling, work took my dad to Ilesha, so my immediate junior brother and I had to follow him. It was in Ilesha that I started my primary school at Salvation Army Primary School, Ishokun. Till date, I have fond memories of some of my teachers in Ilesha, Ms. Ojo and Ms. Adetiba, who are still living. It was a new experience generally in Ilesha. It was an opportunity for me to watch my dad in close quarters as he dished out work order to his subordinate. I remember my dad's colleague, Mr. Degoke, calling my dad by his initials, saying, "J-Hi, please ensure you are ready. By 7:45, we have to move." It took me a long time for me to understand what quarter really meant. Even looking at the wall clock then, I could not identify which one was quarter. But with time, I eventually got to know how to read the clock. That left an indelible impression on me early in life. He would always bring newspapers like Sketch, Tribune, and Daily Times home and encourage us to read. He was always up to date with stories about Nigeria and events around the world. He will sit us down and tell us such tales, unforgettable old days. I was in primary 3 when work took my dad back to Ibadan. But he chose to leave my brother and I in Ilesha under the watchful eyes of a fellow Egba family, the Fadiyis. My dad belonged to the Egba society in Ilesha. It must be noted here that as young as my brother and I were in those days, there were no trust issues at that time. My dad could afford to risk the welfare of us in the hands of his kinsman. I doubt if such communal wash over children exists in such a stress-free manner nowadays. What do we have today? Distrust, fear, apathy, phobia, and high degree of apprehension. God help us all. Thinking back of my grown-up years in both Ilesha and Ibadan respectively, I can't help but feel nostalgic about how sweet and eventful life was then. If I say it was fun, believe me, it was fun. Though there were equally challenging times, but on reflection now, we had it good in those days. I recall times when we will rejoice at every rainfall, an opportunity to wash ourselves up in the rain, adorning nothing but our panties. It's funny how the song we sang then was contrary to our heart. Songs like Ojo Nro, Sere Ninu Ile, Ma Wonu Ojo, Ki Aso Re Ma Ba Tutu, Ki Otutu Ma Ba Mu O. It was sure a delight to see children play in the rain. Each time there was water scarcity in Abebe area of Ibadan, I recall I would lead my brothers to fetch water far off in a distance of 3 kilometers. Today, I am not too sure parents will allow such now. My story was not different in any way with peer groups who grew up in Ibadan at that period. We frequented Dandarus to swim and do fishing. We were regulars at Igbo where Egunguns have their meetings, following masquerade like Adeyi, Atipako, Gogoru, Alapansanpas, Ololu. Be sure of every reprimand from our parents each time we were caught in the act. It was fun. Then this Okebadan festival in Ibadan was a top-notch. Songs like Ebangbo Moke Lanti Lanti, Ebangbo Moke Lanti Lanti, Ebangbo Moke Lanti Lanti will always rule the air at that particular festive period. Beautiful old days. My secondary school took me to Ijesha land once again, precisely at Takumonsa High School, Oshu. Great good old days. I was made a thrift society prefect, overseeing the stores and sales of provisions right from Form 4. Throughout my secondary school, I enjoyed USC scholarship, which was competed for across Nigeria. We had excursions to Kainji Dam and later dams around Osun State, the Old Oyo State then. I enjoyed the rare privilege of answering and identifying the commissioners, Professor Mrs. Bolanle and Chief Areoye of the Old Oyo State under Governor Jemibewon when the convoy visited my school. Till date, I maintain contact with schoolmates and friends alike. The good old days stories were the same even at the University of Ibadan, where I had both my first and second degrees. It is, however, disheartening to note that those values we had there and cherished while growing up, those moral instructions that shaped our lives to becoming who we are today, have taken flight among today's youth and indeed the larger society. Nigerian youth have all it takes to rule and reign globally. They must believe in themselves and commit to a lifestyle of hard work, prayers, and persistence. The idea is to trust the process and shun shortcuts to success as there are none. Nigeria is great and can be greater again. We earnestly desire a reorientation, a new mindset, and a renewed zeal to make Nigeria work. We need a Nigeria that will be safe like in former times when everyone is secure and there was no need to worry about child kidnapping or molestation. A place where nobody will be defined by religion and religious affiliations. Yes, we can change the narrative. Our children certainly deserve a brighter future, full of hopes, and not gory tales of a scary future. You and I must therefore walk the talk by ensuring we right the wrongs. Great morals and sound education can never go out of fashion. Let's make it happen. To this end, I join Sir Shemori Badejo in this collective drive towards a greater tomorrow. Thank you.